Okay, we talked about the fact that this bracket might also actually, if we can move this, be to connect onto this wing mirror arm. Under there, obviously you screw that back out and put that in and screw that back down there. Now if this is slightly bigger than the diameter of the bar used on the wing mirror, then it's obviously going to rattle, although it's going to hold that end, you know, sturdy. It's going to rattle, so is the other side as well. When you put it on the other side, it's going to rattle around, even though it will hold it there, which will be a bit annoying. If that's the case, I will have to also, because there's only one hole on the one side of the guards themselves. Yeah, it's on that one there. There at the bottom. There's not one on the other side, obviously, so I will have to drill another hole on there, and I probably will make those aluminium brackets to come off the nut on the pivot point. So I've got one holding it underneath and one holding it from the top, from the guard. Again, this being under there though, I mean, it's like a bit like a washer. It's fairly thick, and you see the thread length that's on the end of this mirror bar is designed so when you screw it in and it finally reaches the end of its thread length, you know, it stops square pretty much in the position where it is now, and the same the other side. So if I put something that's that thick, you know, between the end of the stop of the thread and the unit itself, this casting unit itself, where it screws in, now that extra thickness might actually, you know, make the square, it won't be square, it might actually end up stopping there at that angle, which might not give me, even though this is adjustable, that might not give me a good enough angle to turn my mirrors, to adjust my mirrors, so that might impede them. So I might have to end up after all using the homemade brackets. Now I could actually use them brackets, drill the slot to and the hole and slot to fit the wing mirror as well, and make them a little bit better somehow, you know, without trying to interfere with that. We'll see. But it's a possibility. I might have a look now, see how bad it is. Obviously, either way, you'll have to remove your bar end, obviously by undoing the loosening, not all the way, because you'll lose the rubber and the nut off the end, and then pulling it out. It will be, especially because it's cold weather now, everything tightens up, opposite of being hot, so it's going to take a real pull to get this to come back out now. Obviously I'm trying out these new Nielsen extra long ball end wrenches we did the review on. The review will either be already up or it'll be up after this video, so we'll take a look at those then. Right, now we got the space part in on top of the other one. I couldn't at this point in time use the end cap on the end there, because it took a hell of a lot more of the length of the screw, and it you know, it needs to connect to the screw and the rubber inside the thing. So it's possible within the next few days I may be able to drill that a little bit deeper in, further down, so it can stop, you know, a lot further down, and then I might have to be able to put that on the end after all. So that's on there. That's alright to a degree, but obviously it'll work, but it'll rattle around, so you're going to have the bracket on the top. I think I'll take a look at this and see if I'll be able to put that bracket on the wing mirror. Alright, as you can see, we've got the bracket installed under the wing mirror. You might actually be able to, obviously that lines up there on the slot, anywhere along there, whatever position you want, and you might actually be able to, there we go, get that underneath and fix it that way. That way then it's barely visible, the bracket. Obviously we can still put one underneath on the pivot point if we want to there. Across to hold the other side as well. Now what I was on about before is this wing mirror obviously now is at that angle, so we want to get it back over there. Now this is a screw on there that you can undo, and hopefully I can get that to a line. You undo the screw, move it up, and then, but it depends how much thread I've actually got to play with on the end of the thing, whether I can get it to work or not. So we'll have another look back in a minute. Okay, now we've got it fitted. We've just about got the mirror back at a decent enough angle. We'll have to adjust that and see when I use it tomorrow. We've got, using the screw and nut provided, we've got that on there. The best way around of doing it was having the screw head this side and the nut the other. I'll pull the plastic off. Obviously it's better to do it this way around because you won't scratch anything. You pull it off after, you shouldn't really have to worry about anything like that. You're probably going to knock it anyway when you use it. And it's something novel, isn't it, on a sport bike, I suppose. But these are some reflective strips. They kind of make it look a bit garish to me, but means as they're going to be used in the winter, then it's not a big deal for me. So that's it's on relatively solid. I think it's still a bit wobbly on the under side. I think we need to add that one what I was talking about before, perhaps a bracket from there across underneath in a drilled hole there and secured on that side. But it certainly do the job for this week anyway. Now this side's even more of an enigma. It doesn't quite fit brilliantly, and I had trouble. Obviously there's a big gap here from the brake side where the bracket is, so obviously you're going to have to try and make some new brackets to make this side fit a bit better. Obviously that's on alright enough to keep my hands warm for this week, but I do need to adjust it. You can see there's a big gap there, and it doesn't even align. That's obviously because the mounting from the brake and the brake reservoir end is obviously different to the clutch end, where the wing mirror and everything is. So what I may have to do is make some new brackets. Obviously when the bar comes to its full position as well, needs to be taken into account, which is what I've done there. So what I might have to do is either cut the guard down somehow, and or refit, or I might have to just adjust the guard and cut the guard at this end and re-drill another hole so far down on that guard. But you can kind of get them to work for the winter, but they're only for the winter anyway.